and welcome along to the Women's Football Show with myself, Pippa-Emerick. What a February it was for Joe Montemuro's Arsenal women's side. 2 losses and a win. And I mean, that last win was a game that was rescheduled not once, not twice, but 3 times. It was meant to be the first game of 2021 against Aston Villa, but it was finally played at the end of February. And yes, it was a win, but not a great start to February with 2 losses against 2 of the top 4 teams in Manchester City and Chelsea. Now, Man City, what a game that was. 2 times they've beaten Arsenal this season, both home and away. This game was at home, and I have to say, Chloe Kelly was doing everything right on that right-hand side, crossing all the balls in to help Ellen White open the scoring. We did get a goal back with the help of Dura Ward and Caitlin Ford combining there. Caitlin Ford neatly tucking it away, but Lauren Hemp, the danger zone on the left wing for Manchester City, was crossed in a ball perfectly from Chloe Kelly, headed it into the back of the net, and that was signed, sealed and delivered 3 points for Manchester City's side. And then we faced Chelsea. Now, this is a team we've been able to beat for a very long time. I think it's about 8 matches now, or thereabouts. And it just wasn't an easy game at all. We couldn't even find the back of the net. Now, with such great attacking players that we have in this Arsenal side, it was very frustrating. The likes of Vivian Miedema, Beth Mead, Caitlin Ford, Jill Ward. We have all the attacking prowess in that squad, but we couldn't find a goal. And Chelsea managed to get not only 3 points, but 3 goals. It was a massive 3-0 for Chelsea's side. With goals from Pernille Harder again. If those of you that remember when we played the home fixture earlier this season, Pernille Harder got that final goal in a 3-1 win against Arsenal. But this time they got the 3 goals but managed to keep a clean sheet. And of course, Fran Kirby got on the score sheet as well. She's had an amazing 2021, and the last 2 games for Chelsea as well, managed to find her scoring boots in the last few games. And again, against Arsenal, not only did Fran Kirby score the final goal for Chelsea, she also assisted the first 2. Now, the thing that bothered me the most about this game is the fact that I felt that the Arsenal women really let themselves down. I felt like once it was 2-0 up, they let their heads go. And that last chance that Fran Kirby had, where she was running from the middle of the park all the way into our box, there was only Leah Walty there to help stop her. And it looked as if Leah Walty wasn't sprinting. Fran Kirby was gone. She put all her might into that sprint that she pulled a muscle while scoring the goal. Her calf was gone after the goal. But Leah Walty was there to track back, and while Fran Kirby was sprinting, Leah Walty was jogging, and Fran Kirby did everything right, got the run right, and placed it neatly into the back of the net whilst pulling the muscle and I think coming off with cramp. And it really let me down that we didn't fight to defend that goal. Yes, I know we're 2-0 down already, but why let in 3? Why let them have such a great campaign against Arsenal? And it was really disappointing to see that. Now, even though Chelsea had a WSL record-breaking run, they had 33 consecutive runs before Brighton put that to rest a week before our Arsenal fixture. I just thought this would have changed the momentum. They could go into our game, head lost a little bit, and that we could get a win, because Chelsea are a really hard team to break down. It's there, 33 games unbeaten. It says it all. But I just felt like because Brighton put a stop to it, then we were to follow next, that we could possibly do something. And not only that, on the day of the game, Emma Hayes made 6 changes to their starting 11. And, you know, when you make a lot of changes, it doesn't normally go the positive way. But it did for them. I mean, they've got such a strong squad that no matter how many changes you make, they're pretty much going to get a result. Now, if Arsenal want to qualify for Champions League football, which doesn't look so positive at the moment, you need to beat, I say it tirelessly, you need to beat the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United now. You need to beat these teams, and 2 of those teams in Chelsea and Manchester City have beaten us twice this season, both home and away. Manchester United beating us away. We still need to play them again. But the fact that those big teams in the top 4 section of the table have beaten us twice puts a big dent in our Champions League hopes. Now, after that Chelsea game, it was our 4th WSL defeat this season, which placed us in 4th position. And now this season, if you want to qualify for Champions League football, you need to finish within the top 3. It's not top 4 like the Premier League, it's top 3. If it was, we're kind of safe, but we're not safe. And it's in a position we don't normally see ourselves in, especially this time of year. 4th. What is going wrong? Now, I can quote what Joe Montemuro did say after that Chelsea loss. He said, I think if we analyse this game too much, it will drive us crazy, because there wasn't a lot wrong with that other than they scored 3 goals and we scored none. He also goes on to say it's very hard to keep analysing these games because we play a bit more pragmatic and then they hurt us another way. They are a very, very good team with some powerful players, and it's the quality of them that has unlocked us today. Mathematically, there is still a lot to play for us, but sometimes realistically, you have to set yourself different targets. We have a Champions League spot to play for and 2 games in hand to help us get there. Now, as the table stands at the moment, we do have a Champions League spot to play for, but the gap is huge. Definitely a lot to play for, but there's a lot of points to gain if you really want to qualify for that Champions League spot. But it's not all doom and gloom in February because, as I said, that rescheduled game against Aston Villa was finally played and we finally saw the Arsenal women back to winning ways. Fans were happy, but they quickly said, but can we do it against City and Chelsea though? That's what really matters. But at the end of the day, 3 points are 3 points and a win is a win. And the newly appointed WSL side, Aston Villa, had to suffer 4 goals from Arsenal. Now, those 4 goals came from Vivianne Miedema, our top scorer, Jordan Nobbs, who is back in the squad, Katie McCabe, who had a firecracker of a shot. If you haven't seen it, please go and find it on socials. I'm sure you'll find it. I've reposted it, where she hit it out from outside the box and it smashed the crossbar into the goal. And Lisa Evans also got on the score sheet. A massive win. Gives the team momentum and a push to really get some results because there's only a few games left in the season and it's not going to be easy. As I said, we're going to have to rely on the teams such as United, Chelsea and City to drop points whilst we get 3 points against our remaining teams. Now, do you want to know who we're facing after Aston Villa? Okay, I'll tell you. In the month of March, we have Birmingham City, the reverse fixture of Manchester United, and a North London derby against Tottenham Hotspur. 9 points up for grabs there, which I think is very doable. United would be the only team that would probably struggle against this season at this point of the season, but 9 points for the taking there. Just touching back on that big win against Aston Villa, not only was it 3 points and 4 goals, Lisa Evans and Vivianne Miedema also got to catch up with their old Bayern Munich teammate Iwabuchi. Have a look at these pictures. Great scenes. Love to see it. And on top of that, I also got to speak to the director of women's football at Aston Villa, Eni Aluko, to see how she's finding her new role at Aston Villa.
You know, I really love the job. I really enjoy the sort of the multidimensional aspect of the job and the variety of the job. So it taps into so many different skill sets.
Yeah.
So obviously, my knowledge of football, my experience of football, you know, building a strategy around what kind of team do we want to be, what kind of team do we want to build, you know, managing the contracts, the negotiations, relationships with agents, relationship with the owner, finance. It's a lot. It's a big job, but it's one that I think really feeds my drive. I've never been a person that likes to just do one thing repetitively. Like, you know, I like variety and diversity in skill set. So I really like the job. I think the challenge has been, you know, trying to change the culture of a team that, you know, was pretty much semi-pro last season.
Yeah.
To knowing what it takes to operate in the best league in the world. By the time I arrived, a lot of the recruitment had been done. So I only really brought in, you know, Anita Asante and Mano Iwabuchi, who we signed in January. Those are sort of, you know, players that I sort of led on their signings.
Yeah.
And Iwabuchi, I mean, just amazing player, instant impact.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of Japanese players just through my own career. You know, I played with Yuki Igimi. I played with Ayamiyama in America, and obviously who's obviously not Japanese but played in Japan for a long time. So I've always been a fan of just the level of artistry that they have as players and technical ability.
And you know what I noticed as well? You've launched like a new Aston Villa Japanese social media. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that came off the back of, you know, she's obviously arrived and, you know, got 2 goals and an assist within 4 games. And she's a huge player anyway in Japan. She's one of the faces of the Japanese team. The Olympics is in 6 months. So a lot of the strategy around signing her was obviously football, but it was also understanding the landscape and the opportunity that Aston Villa had to really sort of reach out to fans in Japan. So the combination of her doing well on the pitch, her being a great player herself, and her having her own sort of brand and her own Twitter following, it just really made sense to launch a specific Aston Villa account for Japanese fans that talks about men's and women's football.
Now that's all for February's wrap up of Arsenal and the WSL. As we look ahead to March now, as I said, we face Birmingham City, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur in the month of March. Hopefully a massive 9 points that Arsenal can play and gain. And I will see you next month for the monthly catch up of Arsenal and the WSL. See you then.